Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second.
No.
Well, I'm just going through my headset, so there's no. Hmm.
Yay, is it working?
Yeah.
Yay.
There you go.
Okay, well, hello. I'm Jackie Kovarovics. I'm here with Frankenzilla.
Yes, Frankenzilla
What
from New
time is it?
Zealand.
Oh, are we losing it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. I can't see anything.
There's a bit of a delay, but in audio, but
Yeah.
okay. It is 8:00 a.m. in New Zealand.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's nice and early for you. It's 4 here. So, do we want to start? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. You start first.
Okay, well, hello everybody. I'm Jackie Kovarovics. I am the better half of Project FDL. Here and with Frankenzilla, we're going to talk about cosmetics and integrations. Those of you guys that don't know who I am, happy to be part of Project FDL, and I hydrodip mainly 3D printed stuff. I don't do a lot of 3D printed or hydrodip of other parts. So I'm going to start talking about hydrodipping. We're going to have the chat open. So yes, Kovarovics is how you pronounce it. So if you have questions, feel free to throw them out there. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of go over some stuff that what I feel is basic for hydrodipping as well as hydrodipping 3D printed stuff. So those of you guys that know, part of Project FDL, so I get to play with a lot of 3D printed stuff. As you can tell, this actually is intentional, all these colors, by the way. I wanted to have every single bit of glitter that I could on this. But when I first started working on my first FDL, I realized that hydrodipping was a thing. We had a customer that when the 2X line came out, he asked if we could make a blaster that was camo print. And I kind of laughed because I was like, no, you can't print in camo because, you know, multi-material wasn't really the big thing at that point. But then he's like, well, I've heard of hydrodipping, so what do you know about it? And I knew absolutely nothing. So I started looking into it, and he was patient. He wanted to see what we could do with it. So we took a little bit of time, and I learned how to hydrodip over about a 6-week period, and that blaster was stupid cool. Ghost. Very, very cool. But the great thing about 3D printing and hydrodipping is no one had really done it before. So I looked online, couldn't find anything about hydrodipping over any kind of parts beyond you get a Nerf blaster and you get the Nerf parts and you sand and prime and then vinyl dye and then paint and then hydrodip and then clear coat. And that's what I've done with this Nerf stock here. It's a long process. So the first time I went to go do it over 3D printed parts, couldn't find anything. So I figured, why not just try it? I took a part right off my printer and cleaned up everything that needed to be cleaned up. Using a heat gun is really, really vital to clean up any kind of webbing or stringing with it. The shimmer handle, I'll talk about that in a second. Lost my train of thought. This is going to be funny doing this. So did my first part, and it actually turned out really well. I was really surprised that it took to the printed part without having to sand or prime or do anything with that. So parts that are on here come off the printer and go into the hydrodip film. Now, hydrodip, can you grab me some film?
Yeah.
You can just grab the little moon samples that are on the counter. No, the one that's already taped. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, we're kind of working with this. So I'm going to show the whole process of hydrodipping. So just, let's see, Eagle Mother who asked about that, I'll show you the whole process. So hydrographic film is a film that is transparent or translucent in the regard that it's printed on, but it's printed on a see-through surface. then colors are printed on there. You can't really see this very well right now because it's on a clear background. This specifically is a moon print that we're going to use to dip a part from the hummingbird. What is that part called?
Upper shroud.
Upper shroud. So I'll be dipping one part of the upper shroud today in that. So this film specifically, I use a company called Fractal Camo. They're really, really cool. They're local here in the US, and it's a small mom and pop place where you can get hydrographic film, you can get wallpaper, you can get vinyl stuff for your cars. They're a one-stop shop for a lot of things. But Jonathan, the owner, is really, really cool and will make you custom film. So we've actually gotten to the point where I've had custom film being made for me pretty consistently for people. There you go. Like Wacom's blaster, that was amazing. So Fractal's really cool, and they get that to me, and I usually get a really quick turnaround with them. It's a little bit more expensive, but as it is with most small businesses, it's always better to try to support smaller companies when you can. I know because I have one, so I appreciate everyone that supports our small company. So the film I order from them, you can get film anywhere. The first roll of film that I got was from Wish, and it was horrible, but working with a really bad film taught me a lot of things to work on for, like as far as to look out for and go forward with. Like the film should be very, very flat and clean and not ribbed or have any buckles in it, because that will reflect in the pattern that you eventually dip onto it. Let me see. I have not tried vapor smoothing anything, so just throwing that out there, have not done that. So with hydro dipping, with the 3D parts, it's great. You just print them and you just kind of do it. Jesse, is it cool if you follow me over my workstation?
Oh, yeah.
Jesse's my cameraman, guys, so sorry. I am going to be away from the questions for a second, so I'm not going to be able to answer chat.
The only thing is I can't see you.
It's okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so come over here.
That's right.
You don't have to worry about me. You can worry about like the things down here. So my setup here for hydrographics is pretty basic, but at the same time, it's like anyone who's worked in a restaurant or as a chef, your mise en place, where you have everything in place that you need to be able to be successful. You should have all this done before you start actually going through the dip. So here I have my dip tub. The larger tub is where I'm going to be using to actually dip the product. I aim for 90 degrees. So I made this really hot. So we probably have a couple minutes to work with. So it's about 100 right now. Yes, this is all US numbers, by the way. And then I have a secondary
Cursed imperial system.
I know. And then I have a secondary soap tank. One of the things that I have learned with hydro dipping, and everyone's different, everyone does different things here. So this is not like, this is my tried and true. But I have found that after taking it from the dip tank, which is warmer, and putting it into the cool water tank, which is not cold, but it's room temperature out of the cold part of the tap, helps set the film. And I'll show you guys like in a minute of how that goes through. I've just found that that's an integral part of making sure that the dip stays on really well. Come over here. Just to give you guys an idea of how much film I have. A lot of the custom films, like this one for Wacom, is amazing. That was made for us, but Fractal's really cool, in which they send their film on a white back sheet, so I know which face goes up and which face goes down. That is absolutely vital for what you're doing, because if you dip the wrong side, this film won't stick. Essentially, you're taking this and making it into paint. So coming over here, this is the part that I'm going to be dipping. Upper shroud?
For sure.
Upper shroud for a hummingbird. Because I am not skilled enough to do this whole entire part at once, I do it in sections. So I'm actually doing this section today, and then the other section will be done, and then I'll do the front on a separate date. The reason for that is I have found that this section is very difficult within here, and you'll find that with all the parts that you're working on, that you just kind of have to feel out how it's going to go through the dip. So this part, when I put it into the water, I'm actually going to dip this way and roll it around so the film gets all the way around the edges to the top. To prep my film, because again, Fractal's really cool and sends it on a back sheet. So removing it from the back sheet, the face that's this side down.
Slow.
I talk really fast, I'm sorry. This is going to be the face side down to the water. So this part is going to be what actually adheres to the part. So that you You can do a tacky test, which is where you take a little bit of water, and if you don't know which side's tacky is the side that should be up part. So here.
What is that super awesome film?
This is a moon pattern. You can actually see it now because it's on a white surface. Before we had it clear. So this is the surface of the moon. So in order to prep this, I'm doing a build dam. Now, as far as like instructional videos for hydro dipping go, there's a ton. So this is not gospel. There are plenty of different perspectives and ways of doing so. One of the first videos I watched was Track, and I watched one of his videos and I watched it over and over and over again to see as far as the speed in which the item is going into the water. That I found to be one of the most intricate things that you need to realize when you're dipping is the speed in which you're doing it. If you go too fast, you can rip the actual pattern. If you go too slow, it may not wrap all the way around. So all I'm doing right now is I'm creating a tape dam for the part that I'm working on. And since I'm only doing half, this doesn't look like this is a lot, but I don't need a lot because I'm only dipping this part like that. So usually just give yourself some extra width, but you don't want too much extra film there because it'll end up making your tank just gross. There's no point wasting film if you don't have to. So after going through and making my tape down, I always go through and make sure that every edge is sealed, because the worst thing is to put your print in the water and then realize that this corner right here, if it wasn't actually stuck, the water would break away from it and the film would break. The purpose of the dam is mainly to make sure that your film stays exactly in the pattern that you have it right here. This, once liquefied, is going to spread. It's going to be like oil on top of water. So the tape actually keeps it all together. All right, tape damming. So yes, I'm cutting on my counters because it's my counter, and damn it, I'm doing it. Do you want to peek at the chat real quick and see if there's questions?
I can't do anything while I'm holding the phone.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. How are you doing, Dwayne?
Oh yeah, So, Ellie, Sidebrand Warrior, have you guys tried any other hydrographic films from other companies? Any good one?
Yes, there are tons. A lot of the films that you find commonly, like your cosmic ones, the spacey ones, this metalbacks one, you find a lot of patterns that are actually pretty common on places like Wish and Amazon, because one place in China will make one huge roll of it and then sell off portions to people that you buy in like smaller increments. Fractal Piano is where I prefer to go just because I know I'm going to get the quality I'm used to working with. Dip Demon's another really good company. I actually use their activator. Yeah, Dip Demon is, I use a spray bottle activator. I don't do the aerosol. Everyone's different there. Oh gosh, there's so many. I mean, honestly, like I haven't found the hydro dip company that I don't like, except for what is Big Brain. That was the one that I did with my, I'll show you guys in a bit, my black and white Twin Peaks blaster, and I just could not get that film to not break.
R.I.P. Big Brain.
Yeah, I know, because they had really good marketing too. Okay, so now where I am right now is my water's a bit hot, so I'm gonna let Dwayne talk real quick because I need to cool down my water, and I'll be right back. Okay. So this is not normal, but I'm actually going to cool my water a bit here because
What are those?
It's ice blocks. It's just ice things that I have in my freezer just to cool it down. I don't need to cool the entire tank down, but I need to cool at least the first couple inches just so it liquefies the right way. Well, that cools for a second. Any questions so far?
Yeah, I'll see.
Okay. No other big questions. Sorry. That was in the back. One key thing when hydro dipping is keep a lot of towels around. In addition to me having floors that actually not really be having water all over them, your hands should always be dry. No matter what, whenever you touch the film, you should not have any moisture on your hands, because even the moisture in the air, if you look at how these films are kind of moving up a little bit, it's curling from the moisture. Moisture, just like moisture with filament, is not your friend. It's not like this water bottle is not good.
Sorry.
No, it was mine. It's totally fine. Okay, now. How are we doing on questions?
Oh. Destroyer 125. Hey Jackie, I was talking to Jesse about hydro dipping a handle for my FDL that I'm ordering. Do you have any Star Wars ones?
Yes, I actually do, but it's a custom film that's Sirius made. So upon his permission, ironically, we had exactly what you were looking for. And this was a film that he actually had custom made. So that's why I have to ask him about
Bad guy film.
Bad, yeah. So as you can see, like my tank here, this my film bin. I actually have huge bags of desiccant that one of our employees, Marcus, brings over to us, and it's awesome because it keeps the film nice and dry. If it doesn't, you actually have a lot harder of a surface to work with, and then you have a lot of waste. So I just try to keep this closed at all times because the lovely southern U.S. is very humid. Now I'm going to check my water real quick. Sorry, I have to keep moving here.
I'm following you.
Steady cam here. We're okay. So one thing looking at the surface of the water here before I put my actual film on, I need to make sure that this is clean as possible. My tank itself actually does have some stains, but that's just old film that is not going to affect this at all. So there's just a little piece of film that I want to get up. I don't want that going through that print because anything that's in your water could potentially go onto your part that you're dipping.
Is it better for your water to be just too hot or just too cold?
Both kind of work actually. I mean, it's a window of like 85 to 95. Or 85 to 95 is usually what I'll dip within. But it also depends on the actual film because I found that fractal is a little bit warmer, and it needs a little bit warmer. But things like Dip Demon and there's hydrographic heat or something like that. That one is a little bit. You need a little bit warmer on that. So it's all trial and error. And the fun thing about doing it over 3D printed parts is that if you mess up, you just print another one. And that's how I've learned a lot of this. So now that the water's good to go, again, I'm gonna dry my hands in a trash can. I swear I prepared. Thank you. Now taking the film that has its full tape down, I checked all its corners. This is gonna be key if you can come over here in front of me.
Okay.
Thanks. So with the film, I'm looking to not have any bubbles. So I'm going to place this with the center going in the middle and then letting it roll out. And in doing so, make it where it's flat. And now I can just go through and push any bubbles that may have occurred. And this, I literally call it burping. I've heard people call it all different kinds of things. This pattern is so tough because it looks like there's bubbles, but it's actually the moon. And if you look, the film is starting to hydrate right now. This is about a 60-second process. Could be 75, could be 45, all depends on the film. As you see, the film is actually hydrating right now. So once it fully hydrates, it won't have that puckered skin looking kind of effect. It's going to be a little bit smoother. This again is kind of a sight thing, but also 60 seconds is just a good way to tell yourself to be checking it. So as you see, you're getting spots like right here that are actually starting to, it clenches and then it releases. And that's what we're looking for, is it to be nice and flat. It's not going to be perfectly flat because the activator will finish that, but this will take just a couple more seconds longer. So while I do that, I'm gloving up. I personally use gloves. You don't have to. I have really bad reactions, like skin reactions to chemicals, so I don't like to have it touching me too much. But that's your personal preference there. Gloves are a very hot commodity right now, as you can tell by the one that I have left after this. I'm gonna open the window.
Yeah.
Okay, so ventilation is really important. I do this in my house, but I do it in the shop, in the basement, with a fan going out. Only because this stuff is not healthy for you to breathe.
I got it.
Yeah, thanks. It's definitely not recommended to do indoors, or if you're doing it indoors, you should have a very well ventilated area. That being said, kind of wing it here. So looking at the film now, we're at a good point for spray. You can see where the bulk of it has smooth parts, and it's not really changing that much anymore. These wrinkles are kind of part of the pattern. So now I use a mist bottle. This is what hairdressers use for like water to cut people's hair. I use this because you can show them down here. It does a fine controlled mist, and I find that that's better than aerosols. I haven't really done well with aerosols, so I go this way. So when coating this, you have to think of it, you have one chance to do anything with this. So when you're coating it, you need to make sure that you're coating it in a very smooth fashion where the same amount of activator is coming out. Back up real quick though. Activator is a chemical that goes onto the film that makes the film from a film to a liquid. That brand is just what I can get on Amazon. I haven't noticed any different brands being better or worse than the other. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be about 6 to 8 inches away and clear spray across. Now I only got to this point, so I'm gonna continue the spray going over there. Now, tape dam broke, see?
Just keep going.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste the part. See, that you guys see, now you get to see what happens when the tape dam breaks. See how it just all immediately goes out, that print is now killed. But the good thing is I can cut more film. So while I do this, Dwayne, is there anything coming up that I should answer or that you want to cover?
Hang on a second.
Okay.
Matthew Becker, have you considered an aquarium thermometer for checking water temperature?
Have we what? I'm sorry.
Consider it an aquarium.
Yep.
No, because the aquarium has sharp edges and I have to carry this around. So usually I have to transport this from here to the bathroom that's, not that far away, but it's far enough and it's a bin full of water. I just imagine a fish tank would be very sharp. So what I'm doing right now is the camera, as you guys can see, is I'm cleaning off not only the film, but I'm also cleaning off the activator off the water. You can see the activator actually is kind of an oily sheen to it. I don't know if it carries on the phone camera or not, but I'm just removing that from the top. This is another technique that Drac did, that he was doing one of his blasters in one of his videos, and I found it's very, very useful to make so that you don't have to clean your tank in between every single dip. So when you're dipping 10 parts at a time, it takes a while. Let me cut this again real quick. Sorry.
Oh, it's part of the process.
It is. That's very much the part of the process. So quiet when I can't see the chat. It's so weird.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No,
I'm acquiring my alcoholic beverage.
yeah. I hope everyone's day is going well today. And I actually was thinking about if I made a mistake and on camera, like what I would say to people. And just like Bob Ross says, there's, what is it, never it's a happy accident. There's no mistakes, there's happy accidents. No matter what, you're going to have things that mess up. I have things fail all the time, and it's better to just go back and keep trying and doing it again. This is something that does take time to learn how to do, but at the same time, you can do it with basic materials. Anyone can cook, anyone can hydrodip. I like really, really saying that because it's true. Now we're double taping our dam. And fun fact, I try every single time I have a blaster order, especially in the last year and a half or so, that is a hydrodip order. I try to make them a keychain where it's a keychain with Project FDL, but with their hydrodip. Like this is M&M's, but there's a whole, my wall here has a bunch of different ones that I've printed and did for people.
M&M. We made a blaster for M&M.
No, those are M&Ms.
Oh.
I wish I made a glass. But so when I have those extra parts, I'll actually save things like this to dip a keychain or something, or I keep a lot of scraps and furs like that here because I have so much film that from different orders.
Anarchy's Forge would like to know if Jackie, if we could hydro dip a beard.
Hydro dip a beard? No, because the hair wouldn't take to it well. I don't imagine that being very fun at all to do. I was actually considering doing a face mask though, like one of the bands, but I want to save those for actual.
I'd volunteer.
Well, hydro dip the arms. I'm sorry.
He said he'd volunteer.
Okay, well, when I come to New Zealand, I will dip your beard. Yes, I blow on it. Like, it's really weird, but I'm trying to get a very flat surface in the center part. So now placing that out again. And see, it should be better this time. So now another minute will be good. How are questions going? Oh. That's it.
Havoc Nerf asks, where can I find side rails for the short nose?
Thingiverse, I think. Actually, I'm not sure because there was a remix done by Ammo Counter, but then there was also a remix done by Josh Henkin, and then I think Pro had done one as well. So this one I got a couple more bubbles in, which is fine because what I'm doing is I'm lightly tapping the surface of the film to burp out that bubble from the side and see it came out. It's okay if there's some, just keep in mind that like this bubble that's right here, the shape of the film now has that circle in it. So when I go to activate it, it'll show that. So just try to make sure your film is as smooth as possible.
Do you ever tap on the side?
Yes. So it's a weird thing, but tapping within the tank to kind of help it go throughout the film, I find that helps, but sometimes just letting it sit the right amount of time helps too. Let's try this again. Now I'm down to no gloves.
Hashtag worth it.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And this little setup here is amazing. Jesse got me this at Lowe's. It's a like garage sink or whatever. It's obviously not connected to actual water, but it's a great surface that I'm not killing my back by bending over too far or dipping in a driveway.
We'll get there.
What?
We'll get there. We'll plummet eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Another way to kind of test if it's ready to go is I blow on the film and you can kind of see if there's, it's so weird to like explain my terminology to people because I don't have it, but it kind of helps smooth it out. And then this is ready to be activated now. So I'm going to try doing this again. Now we're activated. Now grabbing my part.
You're breaking again.
I'm silly, but it's okay. We'll just go with it. I practice my moves, going in the water at an angle, slowly going down, over, and around. Push all the way through. Clear your film off, and there you go.
Looks good.
And there you go. We have a hydro dip part that we got all the edges. And there we go. So now this part has this kind of slick surface to it. The film itself is tacky. So as you can see, it's like all over my glove here. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this, not mess with it at all, and just put it in my soak tank. And I'm going to let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. Usually it's enough time for me to go smoke a cigarette. And then there's a slimy kind of film feel to it that once you get to the point where you've done it for 10 to 15 minutes in the dip tank, you usually don't have to try to remove any of that. You want to make sure that you remove any of that gummy kind of slimy part of the surface because that can actually affect the clear coat process. So when I go to the clear coat, if there's a part of the film that's still kind of on there, that part actually shows up as a little bit more shiny or like different colored than other parts on that dip. So there we go. Now, Dwayne, I'm going to go back to you, my friend.
Well, thanks for that, Jackie. That was lovely. That was a nice little show and tell there. Right. Right, so I'm suffering from a slight bit of lag here in voice, but we shall go on. Right, so integrations and cosmetics. So integrations, here we go. So this is partly mine. So it's a Raven RS. I brought this as a going concern on Facebook. It was pretty badly done. We'll just wait till okay. So all I've done is really I've just we've got a Talon Strike priming slide as a cover. Printed up a nice little 3D Raven skull. Flash hider. And you know, just a work in progress. So that's my integration. Cosmetic wise, I think I look at cosmetics as like a tree, and all the branches are just, you know, different areas of cosmetics. You know, paint, hydro dipping, you know, epoxy work. What have we got? Okay. So this is was the Fortnite ARL. So this is a birthday present to Big ZNZ. So it's been cut, and of course we have a epoxy goblin face with a
no. Okay.
foam card vector magwell, and it's just quite simple. Well, to me it is anyway. So, you know, I mean, shell mods, you know, a bit of epoxy work. Yeah, so apparently I have an issue with
Hey, Dwayne, it looks like we can't hear you very well. Someone said that they can't hear, that they can barely hear you.
How's that? Was that better?
Much better, much better.
Okay. Volume was too low. Okay. Okay. So this is what happens when you combine 3D printing with scratch building or kit bashing. So this is a bullpup pigeon, and uses the basically the motor cage mag base top slide of a pigeon, and I've used a basically it's a recon front grip, recon trigger, and just a custom made magwell. And you know, it's nice. It fits in the hand really well, and it's perfect for quick flag. And it's just remote lipo because there's no room for a battery in this. What else? Okay, so Eagle Mother says, when running around with a bullpup, how quickly can you reload it? Very quickly. There you go. So the more extreme cosmetics is something like this, which is a retaliator with quite a workable stock actually. It's a hand. It fits. It's quite snug. It's and a skull pump grip. It works. Yeah, it's real nice. And all right, let's have a look at Facebook. See what's. I don't know if Jackie wants to have a look. And,
yeah, I'm actually answering the people here. A couple questions that people had. Someone asked about the film. Becker, I get custom films from Fractal Camo, fractalcamo.com. They're really awesome. We like them as a page too, so you can always see that. It's cool because Low Line Mechanical Artworks from Germany mentioned that he does hydro dipping in a completely different method. He uses a higher temperature on the tank. He uses actual aerosol activator, and he doesn't actually do anything after dipping. He's not putting it under water or anything else like that. And his dips are gorgeous. So that just goes to show that every person has little things that they do differently, but that doesn't mean that he's wrong or I'm wrong or anyone else is wrong. It's just different methods that everyone has tried and true doing different stuff. So that's really cool to hear. I can't not rinse my slime off. The slime just is gross feeling to me.
just answering questions here. I don't know. You want to go to Facebook and have a look?
So we're just looking for like cool blasters that people have posted on here. Because I'm not very, like, as I've told you, Dwayne, but everyone else, I don't really do integration.
Okay. Okay, we'll have a look. I'll bring it up and have a look.
Alan's always great. Monkeytron Collective. Yeah, that's fine.
Cybran, Bullpup FDL3 wins.
Yeah. Jesse works, so we're not getting a lot of dev time out of him. So what we have is what we have for a while. That being said,
All about them balls.
yeah, Radio Silence has seen one of those, but we haven't seen them file, son. And I'm just joshing, don't worry. Yeah. So someone did just join the chat and asked, sorry, Yulia As far as hydro dipping tips, yeah, the hydro dipping part was kind of just, we kind of just went over that. But let's see, like if you have a specific question, I can answer it or try to. Yeah, David, you got to tape those edges, definitely. He was just saying that he uses spray activator and rinses. People in the chat are talking about with the hydro dips afterwards, like how I have mine in the soak tank right now. I did start by, after dipping, I would just hang it up and let it dry as little mechanical artwork stuff. And then I saw a method where someone did it under running water. So then I would take it into my sink and do just running water over it. But I still found that I had to hold it and actually move on the film with my hand to get the slime part off. So I tested a couple of things, and the soap tank has just been the best thing for sealing the print, because sometimes when you do the water and wash it off afterwards, sometimes you will remove some of the hydro dip. It doesn't perfectly stay all the time. That doesn't mean that they can't. Let's see. I'd love to see what Dwayne would do with an FDL.
Yeah.
I would love to see what he could do with an FDL. That would be amazing. G-code file.
I'm afraid of making Jesse angry with me.
Oh, stop. Nah, we're all good, man. Nah, it's cool to see what people can do. There's quite a few different people that are actually working with different blasters and different shells and trying to use our internal. So if it's something that can fit into their stuff, that's great. As far as dual extrusion printing, we don't have a dual extruder, so we don't have personal files, but Kenneth Buckingham has done a lot of cool stuff with personally our FDL files and dual extrusion and the color prints and everything. So I would definitely check his work out. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Matt just said that. Activator is a very light spray. It's a zzz, like that. I don't have technical terms here. Yes, David, very true. As far as the activator, spraying it down, it's just like learning the speed in which you push the material through the water. It's just practice. So Eli did ask, as far as to get some questions going for integrations modding, what are some things you feel every nerfer trying to get into integrations work should know? That's a good one for you, Dwayne.
Oh, put me on the spot.
I'm sorry.
I was answering questions. What was the question? Sorry, I was just like.
Let's see, Eli. He had said, what are some things that you feel every nerfer trying to get into integrations work should know?
Good question. Lots of research. Yeah, you just Google it and see what other people are doing, and that's probably the best way of learning. You know, maybe watch some videos. But you know, I mean, mock it up with like tape and hot glue, and you know, stand it upright and put it on the bench, and then stand back from it and actually look at it, and you know, I mean, from far back, and make sure everything's actually straight and in line, because I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook, and you know, people will post something and they'll be like, what do you think? And of course it's just like, that's like a bullet to me, and I just want to go, okay, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And then they get upset, and it's like, well, you did ask.
There's a lot of dreamers in our community, and that's really cool. I mean, and that's one of the things that I see people do a lot is, I want this with this, but I want to do it this way. And sometimes you have to, in order to get to a certain point, you may have to cut through a couple shelves that you may lose some parts to. I mean, people are making some really good points in the chat too, as far as like doing it clean and
Oh
straight.
yeah,
Or
totally. Yeah.
knowledge. Photoshop, I didn't think about that, but I could imagine that would be very helpful with integration stuff.
Biggs is on baby duty, so he can't stay long. Oh well.
But yay, he's here. Hello. Okay, so I'm actually going to check on my dip in my tank real quick. Yeah, we're I disconnect the bins over there. Okay. Over here. So now my film is still tacky, and I can't show you feel kind of things. But I have removed the tape. Yes, radio silence asked where the tape went, and I had taken it off because I'm OCD like that. But now I'm just going through, and I gently rub it under the water. The key is you don't want to create any kind of friction because you want it to still stay on, but you want just remnants. Like this part right here is where part of the film buckled up. So as you see, like using my hand gently, I can actually remove that seam that was created by the film buckling up and use that. So sometimes you kind of have to go through and like clean up a little bit. And it's a lot of practice makes perfect. A lot of what Bernard said is, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like mistakes are part of the learning process. I can't even tell you how many things I've thrown out frustrated because I waited so long and did these different things and it just didn't work. But all I'm doing right now is just gently wiping this off. And it's hard to explain if you've never hydrated it before, but there's this slimy kind of feeling to it that this had just a little bit left on there, probably because I could have left a little bit longer. But now dip is good to just dry. So what I do is I air dry these on my pegboard. And you can see like right here, just rubbing it made it come up just a little bit. But practice makes perfect. No matter what, nothing is perfect. And the visual thing is like, you don't worry about what's on the inside because it's not going to be seen. I have a little bit of goo here. So I just clean this off and then I let this dry. I usually do 8 to 12 hours minimum of letting it dry because the PLA is porous, so it will kind of absorb some of the water. Not enough to worry about anything of the part changing, but it just gives enough time to fully dry. Because again, moisture is not your friend until you're actually putting your item through the film. Up until then, you don't want it wet. So this is just going to air dry, and then tomorrow I'll go through and actually tape this part and do this, and then tape it off and then do parts separately. And yeah, some of the film down here. I'm not perfect. All right, so.
What do you do after that has air dried? When you're done, when you're completely done dipping the whole thing, what do you do?
After that point, I go through and get a can of 2K, and I actually clear coat these bad boys. And my clear coat process is a little different than other people's, but this is what I have found to be the amalgamation of everyone's ideas as far as clear coating. But I do 3 coats. So the first coat I'll go through, and every surface that is getting clear coated gets a spray. After that, I let that sit for 15 minutes. Then I come back and do another spray, let that sit for 30 minutes, and then come back and do another spray. It's probably overkill, but as I can show you with my blaster over here, my first FPL that I dipped, wearing it at end war, so I had my sling on, this part was rubbing up against my waist area, and it actually wiped away some of the film. It was also hella hot and hella humid. So that on top of it. So now, having seen this is why I do a little bit thicker of a clear coat, just to make sure that it maintains. Because like this bright print, it's very obvious when it fades.
Was that 2K'd? I thought you used a different clear
that's
coat.
Right. I've tried so many
That's part of the reason that you switched over to 2K.
That's exactly why. Thank you. Yeah. So just, good to know, like some people love 2K. I find that it's the easiest to get. Plus it just has the most consistent quality to it. So, yeah.
Do you have more to do, or should I put this
You
here?
can go ahead and put it there. Sling Fire, I get my film from Fractal Camo, but also Amazon. It just pretty much is the print that someone's looking for. If a print exists, like we made a bean blaster for Tom from Detroit Dart Club, and it's literally just baked beans on a film, and it's amazing.
We did bacon too.
Yeah, I did bacon for Tim. Yeah, for his son. With beans and bacon. Clear coat is Spray Max 2K. I get it off of Amazon. I put them on the shelf and they were rattly. But you can get like a 6-pack of them for close to $100, which is actually really good because 2K usually averages about $20 to $25 a can. Oh, okay. Nightwing Nerf Works. He has asked if it's a bad idea to dip high friction areas like rails that will hold a pump kit, etc. Absolutely. No matter what, you have to figure that if this rail, one, to get the dip patterns all the way into that is going to be really hard and it's going to be inconsistent. But if you constantly have things that are having some kind of friction, it'll eventually wipe away the clear coat and then it'll eventually wipe away the actual pattern too. So this is the one that I use. 2K, sorry, not 2K, 2K. Yeah, so an automotive clear coat works really well too. I think Sirius does a 2-part system where he actually mixes it, which is what this is. You actually put this into the bottom of the can and shake it to activate it and mix it, and it's only good for 24 hours from that point. So when I use this, I definitely make sure I have everything I could possibly be clear coating at once. Sure, Destroyer, give me just a second, I'll do that. Okay, so thank you, Rainbow Circus. It's not overkill, 3 to 4 layers is great. Good to hear that that's someone else believes that too. I don't know the answer to that. How can you prevent sparking in motors? Okay, well, I'm curious. Okay.
This is a cosmetics feed. We
Yeah.
flywheels can just go away. There was one here. It says Slingfire Master. Where do you get the film for hydro dipping?
Fractal Camo. Fractalcamo.com. I can even comment it.
There we go.
That way people can have it.
Matthew Becker, is there a patch wall in the FDL workshop?
Oh yes, there's a patch wall. Yes, definitely. I can show you that if people would like to see that.
Okay, good.
Okay, well you do. Okay. Yes, we actually just got a beret one, and we're very excited about that. The beret. Are we patch one?
What do we got?
Not a good one.
Yeah, it's like 50% our own patches.
But those were made for us. Those were made for us by Spectre and 7. I mean, like Spectre and 7 made all of those for us. So that was very kind gifted. I mean, feel free to send us patches if you want to send us patches. That would be amazing, Eli. Please, yeah, send me some patches. That would be great. I would love to have one. Nova, process of getting a custom film made is stupid easy. I just emailed Jonathan, and he even has a place on his website where you can buy the time that it takes him to create the film, because he creates it in like Photoshop or whatever. And then you can buy a roll, and the roll is usually like $40, but it's a square meter, which is much larger because usually you get a foot by a meter when you're buying from somewhere, or like the measurements are varied there, but it's a lot more film, and it's definitely a very high quality. So I email him a picture, high resolution. I'll tell him if I want the pattern where, say, it's a picture of a cat. Do I want the cat? Speaking of my child, if I wanted a picture of that cat where it would be tiled, like the film that I showed before, the Star Wars one, where it was just one individual item spaced out 1.5 inches, he can do that. He can do pretty much whatever I want within his print bed size. So pretty cool. It doesn't take long at all. Usually for me, like, now granted, I order a bunch of film from him, but usually it's shipped within 3 or 4 days of me asking for it. Please, anyone that wants to send patches, please let me know. That would be amazing. Yay, that would be so great. Yes, Dark Nick, you definitely did see us and see up there. Yeah, the 1 meter length is just pretty common. It's just the width of what you get. Hi, Ian. COVID life. Our teenager just got up not too long ago. All 50 people that are watching, yes. Okay, here's a good one. I don't really have a good answer for this, Dwayne, but you may. Any recommendations on doing a two-tone fade with paint?
Probably the easiest two-tone fade with spray paint. Base color, and then basically start at the top or the bottom, depending on where you want the fade to go. Yeah, start at the bottom, and then as you move up the blaster from top to bottom, pull away with the can if you're using a can, and that will lessen the spray and make a fade. You can do it with a brush, and it is a lot harder. Hope that answers the question.
Yep. An airbrush. Someone mentioned having a two-tone fade would be really good to do with an airbrush. I want an airbrush.
It's exactly the same thing with an airbrush.
I want one so bad. And the cool thing is paint jobs are really cool to dip over too. Serious Customs, who is a very close friend of ours, he does this glitter treatment to prints that he does, and it's just amazing. And I've actually dipped over those paints and then clear coated over it. So it's heavy, but you can definitely do that kind of stuff. Nicholas Reed had a question for you, Dwayne. Of all the builds you've made, which is your favorite?
All of them. Probably would be my Frankenzilla, which was the very first cedar that was actually sent out from Jet. That was actually paid for. That was probably it'd be my favorite. I did buy another cedar just recently, but the Frankenzilla actually Prickly Snoof Mods brought it off me, and then he resold it, so it's floating around in the States somewhere. But yeah, that is probably my favorite blaster.
You're fine, babe.
Cybrand says, I feel like I'm trying. What's it?
It's true. Who's your favorite child? I mean, saying, what's your favorite blaster? I know I can't. Which one's mine? Which one of the FDL kids is the best? Both of them. We love both of them.
Anarchy to me. Will you be joining Biggs NZ for RAG this year? I was hoping to visit the States this year, so maybe. Oh, it depends on the whole lockdown, the virus thing. So it'd be good to meet everybody, and you guys, Jackie and Jesse. It'd be, if you were there.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, unfortunately, RAG is usually the same weekend as a printing convention called Earth that we go to. It's the East Coast Rep Festival. And it's really tough because that's like choosing which kid you love more. Do you go to a NERC event or do you go to the 3D printing event? This past October, we went to the 3D printing event. Depending on how weekends work out and everything else, we're definitely going to want to be getting out of the house by October. So we want to go to RAG. There's no question about it. It's just if it works out right for us. It's Tiger King build. Oh my gosh. Matt Becker's on a roll today. That I don't even imagine, like, that would just be Lisa Frank. I mean, a Tiger King build would literally just be pink camo tiger. I mean, it could be cool, but it would just look like
I think we've pretty much ignored Facebook because
Yeah, there's
but it's perfectly fine. I mean, you'd have to scroll through so much stuff because it's a lot of flywheel builds and it's not really any cosmetic stuff. I mean, there are some really good cosmetic stuff on Facebook at the moment,
mhm.
but most of it's so. But there's a lot of flywheel stuff on there, and I'm not interested in flywheel. I am. I do flywheel and air and Springer, but when I first started out, I did a lot of master keys, and I was known for 34 kg LSs and sleeper breaches and all those huge big power Chris Katao mods and all the rest.
Mhm.
But now I just do cosmetics, and that's what I'm now knowing. And I still get people asking me questions about retaliators and all the rest, which is perfectly fine. I'll answer everybody's questions. We're doing an integration with a lot of hot glue and melting the plastic together for soldering iron work.
Mhm.
Yes and no. Okay, so Brad, Ellie, what do you want? What compound do you use for your builds, i.e. what material makes up the skulls and frequent
Compound you
characters
use
on
for
your
your build.
blasters?
That's
Just
definitely
epoxy putty? Or do you use anything else? A lot of the time I buy skulls, Halloween, they have those $2 shops. I mean, in the States you have dollar stores and things like that.
Mhm.
So occasionally I will make a mold of the skull and then remake more. But lately with my little 3D printer, I've been printing skulls. So
Nice.
So yeah, a lot of epoxy putty goes into building these creations. So there you go. Monkeytron, do you plan out crazy builds or do they just evolve as you build them? I do not plan anything. It just happens. There you go.
Oh man, you're
It's
so
like
different.
it's like my paint work. I'll build a blaster, and there's no plan. It's just I'll go, okay, I'm going to paint it. I'll use these colors, and bang, it's done. It's just.
Yeah, like Eli's saying that he needs to embrace some of that mentality. I have to plan everything out. Like I'm nuts about it. But like with hydro dipping, sometimes the film pattern and the direction it goes, like I have to plan different parts to try to line up or match. Like Wacom's blaster that we gave to him at Endwar last year. He had a very specific print that it was one large piece that he wanted across the whole part of a nose. So I had to dip like the whole part of a shell, but it was multiple parts together. I had to plan that one out. And it still wasn't as big as I wanted.
Jackie,
That's a good question. Would you buy a 3D pen?
What do you think of a 3D pen?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I mean, like we've used one before. I've seen some people do some really cool things with it, especially with where they're trying to like get prints to stay together. But I think glue would be probably better. Or hardware. Matt Becker, you'd asked as far as if you can hydro dip the inside of a transparent blaster and have the design show through. There's no point in not trying. I've never done it before because the inside of blasters, especially Nerf ones, tend to have so many ridges and like little areas that are all partitioned off that I don't see film wrapping around it as well as a smooth surface like the outside of it. But I imagine you could do it. You should try. First more months.
Ellie, nice. What brand of putty do you use? Over here we use Sally's Need It. So it's 25-minute work time. And you can get a grey one, a steel alloy one, and a what they call an aqua, which is like can be used underwater and all the rest, and it goes hard, but it's still flexible. So yeah.
Yeah, someone's asking in the chat right now what my favorite pattern is, and that's my Tokioki pattern. I really, really like it. This is what actually got me into fractal camo in the first place because it's a company that makes like really cool backpacks and stuff like that, and I was able to find film in it. And then I found they have like blue from oh my gosh, Foster's House. What is it? Imaginary Friends. Yeah. I love, like, they have so many cool different films that you can get.
Yeah, Ellie. Yeah, Sally's is more Australasian, so you probably won't find it in the States.
Yeah, the Rapid Red actually is one of the few mods. I guess I didn't do the internals on this, but this Rapid Red we actually made for our daughter because she couldn't have an FDL because there wasn't really a need for her to have an FDL, being 7 or 6 at the time. So made this for her, and this was the first time I've ever actually gone through and like sanded and painted and hydro dipped and everything else. But Jesse actually made a special internal thing for this.
One of the few mods I've ever.
Yeah, one of the few mods that you've done some, but yeah. But yeah, that's the Z. That's the FDLZ. And yes, Monkeytron Collective, we know you love your tartan.
Okay, so that was Jackie's little Rapid Red.
Yeah, that's actually our daughter's.
Here's a Rapid Red.
Whoa, that's cool.
So this is all epoxy putty. It's not that heavy, really.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's it's turning into a very long commission. I think I've had it for like 5 years now, and I really don't know if the owner still wants it. So
still super cool though. Now, how long have we done? Like, how long ago was the FDL thing? And how she doesn't have a blaster yet, like an actual FDL. Okay, so Laura Mechanical Artworks, our friend in Germany, asked if I paint my parts before dipping. The layer paint definitely does help as far as the printed parts are concerned. Usually the filaments that I'm dipping over is either white that I just print for the base, if there's like a colorful film, or usually the customer wants like atomic see-through green where they have a clear and black film over it. I've done paint on printed parts and I didn't like the results. I also couldn't say as far as how many times I've done that though. I did try sanding some 3D printed parts and doing the paint and everything, and I just didn't like it as much as just clean from the printer. But I'll try it.
Yes, Monkeytron. 5 years is a long time to spend on a blaster, but it's been actually sitting in my cave for 5 years.
Oh my god!
So, you know, it only really took 6 months to do, but it's just been gathering cobwebs and dust since then.
Because someone
Go away, Bash.
Okay, I'm not seeing that. There's work study posted. I don't see it. What are you doing over there? Don't mind Jesse just banging on our printer in the background there.
Cybran. My Iris bullpup has been 2 years in the making, mostly because I'm scared I'll mess it up.
You just gotta go for it, man.
Yeah, just.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse. Hi, Ryan Davis.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pop out for a sec.
Okay. So as I am not really the integration person, we'll ask Frankenzilla to do a makeup tutorial when he gets back, Matthew. Yeah, I wear glasses. I've been blind since I was like 6. I've been wearing them forever. Projects I'm working on right now, Eli, I have Jesse's hummingbird dips that I'm doing, like the part that I've just done. I'm printing masks right now. Like the biggest thing that we're doing here in our shop is we're about to relaunch into our shop as far as having bundles and blasters again after being out since October. But I also wanted to step back from that real quick and focus on what we can do here in our local community. So we've been printing face shields as the printer goes off, just showing that one had finished. They're long, it's a long process and no one's really gotten the stack right on things. So I've been printing a lot of just one shield at a time, little visor part. So that's my biggest projects right now. And then I'll get back to, you know, working on blasters probably the next couple weeks, but right now it's just masks for me. What's a hummingbird? You know what a hummingbird is. I never can pronounce his name right. The name of his, like, his shop. Fantasy Dodges?
I don't know what that is.
Would it be considered a tiny brushless? Radio Silence is asking.
It's medium.
Jesse's over here, Noah. He's just doing something. Ryan Davis asking about face shields. Do I worry about running out of PLA? No, because I just went and bought 22 rolls today at Micro Center before Jesse went on this afternoon. We've gone through about 6 kilograms of filament so far, and I have almost 100 face shields to donate. I've been trying to grab as much as I can from people, and like Micro Center was cool. They gave me 10% off when I went there and bought a bunch. So I just told them what we're doing with it. But it's all literally just whatever we have. I didn't want to run into using my protopasta just disposable things, but yes, the 3D printing community doing the face shields and the masks and the hooks and everything else is really cool. Hopefully they can come up with a filtered mask, but there just hasn't been a good print yet, right? We're working with a place, Brian, that's called Atlanta Beats COVID. It's a nonprofit that actually takes the raw materials, puts the shields together, sanitizes them, and then gets them to police officers, ambulance services, first responders, just in general, as well as hospitals. One of my friends in Alabama actually reached out, and I may need to get her 1,000 face shields somehow. So we're just trying to help whoever we can.
I'm back. I just disappeared
randomly. Matthew Becker would like you to do a makeup tutorial.
Oh, what, like face makeup or
I don't know. That's a really good question, Matthew. Face makeup or like makeup?
Got to specify these things.
Yeah, face makeup. Okay, so we're gonna hydrate up your beard, and then we're gonna do some makeup in your integration style. Okay.
Cybrand 22. Any current projects besides the Rapid Strike and Zeus bullpups? A proper Striturian, not like just sticking the stripe in front of the Centurion like everybody else does. It's just what.
I'm setting my
bullpups.
right now.
Ryan Davis, I thought the Exuses were extinct. Is Jess Blaster going to bring them back? Probably not. I do have one. I'm turning mine into a bullpup flywheeler. Oh, thank you, Sladers. You're so kind.
And he said the same thing I said. Like literally, I was abbreviated. That's great.
Yes, Ryan, they are rare. That's why I'm chopping one up. Because that's what us cosmetic modders do. We chop things up.
With no regard and no plan.
Nope, no regard. So, Brad, I'll kill for a luscious beard like that.
You do have a luscious beard, my friend.
5 years now, I think. I think Jesse would look pretty good with a beard this long, but
I can't do it.
Why not? Why not?
It's too patchy. Yeah. It's like way too patchy. It's not full. He doesn't get a luscious beard. It's just right here, where he has hair right now. So Destroyer was asking for a picture of the film again. It is, there you go. Now this is over clear, so this would be only the black would show. Who's an oozinator? I don't even know. Oh my gosh, Patch Adams beard, yes. No, he just goes with a goatee. That's all we do with Jesse. I didn't realize cosmetic mods would be talking about your beard.
Whatever works.
Hey, whatever's that, right? Okay. Thank you, Matthew Becker. Oozinator. Beard is face cosmetic modding. You're right. It is. All right. I get it. Oh, okay. So we've got about 10 minutes left. Okay, this is a really good question. With your integrations, do you do like lights and sounds or anything in it?
Okay, yeah, no, that's a really good question. Very early on, I did. Well, there's a warning beep. I did a Striturian, but I did a bullpup one, and I used the blue LEDs from the Raven from the Firefly clip, and I put those in the priming slide on the original Centurion, and that's pretty much my only LED work. Sound wise, yeah, pew pew. That's pretty much it. I don't do sounds and blasters. That's no.
It's for people like Jesse. Crazy people with startup sounds.
Yeah, that.
We don't need the FDL to go pew pew because it already goes pew pew, Matthew. It doesn't need to, or you can just say it, like literally just walk around and go pew pew. That's what I do.
Here's a question for Jesse. Can you turn off that annoying little sound that the
battery sound I got?
The startup sound? Yeah,
the startup sound.
It's in the ESCs. If you reflash the ESCs, you can turn it off. It's not like an on-off switch, though.
Okay.
All right, so last couple minutes.
Okay.
Anyone have any questions or anything like that? Now is the time.
I would just like to say that I've thoroughly enjoyed my Sunday morning with the lovely Jackie.
This has been awesome. It really, really has. I mean, like how quickly this whole entire event was thrown together is crazy. And it's been really well organized.
Totally, yeah.
I've been very impressed. I'm sorry you had to get up so early though. I didn't get up that early.
No, I was up about 4:30. It's usually my work days.
Oh, it's Sunday for him. That's right. You're in the future. He is in the future. I mean, like he is legitimately in the future. Was your beard Pantera inspired? That is awesome.
No. I hate Pantera. I don't like Pantera whatsoever. I had this in various stages before Pantera. So
that sounds like a question you get fairly often.
No, I don't.
But you're very, very opinionated on it, though. I really have. I mean, Ryan, yeah, we definitely have. We've had the shorty nose for a while, and I mean, we've got the Pippin pack that We wanted to show off this year, but we just don't know when there's going to be an event that we can show it off at. But soon, it's worth it for everybody to stay home right now. Oh, someone asked if it would be possible to put LED lights in the magwell. In which blaster? Because it can kind of, but not really. Anything is possible. There is actually parts on our boards. Well, yeah, for an FDL, but we've got the 1, 2, and 3. So I wasn't sure which one you're talking about. That's okay. Because no matter what, we don't have LEDs right now.
Anything is possible. It's open source. You can do whatever you want to.
And the 3, no, it hasn't been done yet, but people are working on it. Agreed. Definitely agreed. Like, the community is very, very important these days. And even just being able to do something like this or be on Discord or check in with people, like, it's funny because, you know, I'm a very outgoing person, like not on video, like not about video, but as far as like people are concerned, I thrive on people, and like not having Atomic and not having the Neutron League right now and not having events to go to is really, really tough. So check on your extrovert friends right now too, because introverts are very happy. Extroverts aren't doing too hot. Nicholas Reed, what did I think of the FDL1 and Jesse's early dart blaster experiments? I thought he was crazy. I want a printer, so he gets a printer after making a CNC machine, after brewing beer and woodworking. He has a lot of hobbies. And he made the FDL1, and I was like, what is this? I don't even understand what you're doing here. And it just kept evolving. And when Jesse gets something in his head, he just does it until it's done and it's right. And yeah, he's gone through a lot of different stuff, and I think it's really cool. And I love what the business has evolved into for us too. I really do feel that it's helped our family come together as well. Yes, we did put LEDs in Frank's FDL2 Monkeytron. It was one-off kind of situation, LEDs.
The 2 was easy to do it in.
The 2 was easy to do it in, according to Jesse.
3, no.
Radio silence. Can you have a segment for learn to mod auxiliary lights and sound on the existing FDL3 hardware? I'd love to see what you do with it. I think it would be really cool. We're just really spread thin right now between the 2 of us, and Jesse is still working every day this week. So at some point in time, we will. So I want lights in mine. All right, yeah, we're getting to the point where I can't really answer too many questions about league stuff, but like Ryan, as far as like, you don't need to start an Atomic Dart League, start your own Dart League. If you want to follow like the Iron Rush format and like how we do things, that's totally cool. But you know, if you need help like getting a league going, let me know. I can definitely help with that. Just send me a message. CNC to make wood parts from FDL? Yes. Actually, I believe Alice Coke Duck had been working on that for a while for her 3. Oh, sorry. I thought it was, oh crap, I'm sorry. There are people that have done that. I've seen people that have done wooden handle scales, and then also wooden insets in the handle scales, because they just take the files and play with them. Yeah, I'd love to say that we should be doing weekly updates, but we're not YouTubers. We update our social media though. Yeah, Ryan, just message me. If you have questions about that kind of stuff, just throw me a message, because we have all of our like rules and that kind of stuff posted. So a lot of it is there. You can just use it. All right. Well, on that note, thank you guys. Like seriously, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and thanks for seeing the right way and wrong way to tape down your hydrographic film. But thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate you doing this with me in such a short moment. I had a really good time.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jesse. Cheers for Adrian for sorting this out.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian.
Bye.
Bye.